Coming out of the weekend, Trump has yet another controversial nominee. And I don't just mean controversial from me, all of them are. No, in this case, there's at least one Republican now getting pushback for their pushback against him, Kash Patel in this case. So we're gonna talk about GOP Senator Mike Rounds, who is experiencing some strike back for his non-acceptance of this nominee. But we have to talk primarily about Kash Patel, because Trump wants to put him in charge of the FBI, and many Republicans are coming out and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's a great pick. Even though Kash Patel is like, well, I mean, the most insane person to head up the FBI, the most comical, clownish loyalist. How clownish? He almost was literally a clown. Can we just jump ahead to graphic 4 for 1 sec? Because I gotta show you this image. He put out books supporting Trump. He wrote it. The Plot Against the King. It's a cartoon book wherein Trump, a king, that's the part of the metaphor that could end up coming actually true. I guess like Hillary Clinton is trying to take him down or something. And Kash Patel,
kind of a Pelosi-esque face, like a little
is it Pelosi? I don't know if I think it's Hillary Clinton, but maybe it's Pelosi. Kash Patel makes himself a character. He's the wizard there who's gonna like save the king. He wrote himself into a fantasy kids book as the savior for Trump. And now he's gonna be the actual head of the FBI. That's the plan. And so the whole thing is crazy. Here's what Kash Patel has said he would do. We will go out and find the conspirators. This was in the lead up to the election. Not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. Can we pause for there? So clearly Joe Biden didn't rig the presidential election that happened when he was president because he lost. The deep state, can we stop talking about the deep state? If Trump won the election and they didn't rig it, it clearly has no power whatsoever. So which presidential election did Joe Biden rig? The one that happened when Trump was president? How did Joe Biden rig the 2020 election? It makes no sense, but it doesn't have to, because Kash Patel is not a person who thinks, comes to conclusions. He just says whatever Trump wants to hear. He is just a loyalist for Trump. That is literally all. That is all that he will do. And him being the nominee is bad enough. It is the fact that he would be firing Christopher Wray, the current head of the FBI, which is not a thing that is done. The president just come in, fire the head of the FBI, and then put in the fantasy novel writing cuck who's been trying to court him for the last 4 years. But that is what Trump is doing. And so I know, opinions differ about how much damage Kash Patel could do as head of the FBI. I know Ken Klippenstein put out a piece where he implied that Kash Patel might be so utterly incompetent that he actually wouldn't be able to get much done. And maybe that'll be the case. But again, I have been looking, Francesca, for signs. Is Trump going to deliver the worst case scenario that people have been warning against, or something more rational? And he keeps going for people that are about as bad as you can imagine. If you think it's going to be retribution and revenge and locking up your political opponents, I don't know how you send that signal any stronger than choosing Kash Patel. What do you think?
You don't, and I really, look, I like Ken, but I really have to push back on the idea that people are too incompetent to be destructive. I think that's utter BS, and especially at the head of the FBI, especially having, so much data on the American people, so much data. Specifically, the FBI is so good, no matter what president they're serving under, at going after political dissidents, at going after, people like anti-war demonstrators. Even, I always talk about this, the raging grannies, which are a group of grandmothers who sing songs against war. They have an FBI file. So if you don't think that someone like Kash Patel will absolutely further weaponize, in fact, do what I think many people might argue what the FBI was intended to do, which is go after political dissidents and expand the definition of who are political dissidents, you are sorely mistaken. And it's like, it's so silly to think that like people are too incompetent. No, man, they can be competent. And this is a person, again, who wrote a children's book fawning over the king. And so that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of solace, John, as you know, as we all know, nobody wants to read a book about a king winning. That doesn't happen. Nobody likes that ending. A corrupt king continues to get away. Why was there a plot? Nah, man, we like Andor all right? We like, which I'm so excited is coming back because I need like suggestions for the resistance here. Like we want stories like Hunger Games. We want stories where the, dystopian futuristic place that convinces us to worship the rich gets completely destroyed. So that gives me hope. But in the interim, this is terrifying. It's so stupid. Look, case in point, John, and I'm curious about what you think too when I shut up, which is Stephen Miller and child separation, right? Like, yes, Obama also did similar things, but there was detention of migrant families. They were together, however, cruel as it must be, as it was, they were together. There are still people who have not been reunited with the many hundreds of children, thousands who were separated from their families in the early days of Trump under Stephen Miller's policy of mass detention. So, like, what do you mean? Stephen Miller's an idiot. Stephen Miller, I mean, he's Machiavellian, but he idiotically separated these kids. And why? There's no accountability. There's no responsibility. So the idea that like they're too stupid to get anything done, I think is a really, really dangerous misread.
Yeah, and by the way, look, he put up Matt Gaetz again. It's this. It's just slavish guys who literally bow down and kiss my boots and will go after my opponents. That's who he's been putting forward. And I agree on Andor. Very excited for it. By the way, like I don't do a lot of plugging at my work or whatever, but yesterday I released a short story, The Last Course. If you'd like to see something in the vein of what Francesca's saying, that's now available.
Yes.
I don't like bowing down to kings. But anyway, I have mentioned Mike Rounds, maybe a senator who could try to stop him. Because Kash Patel being nominated doesn't mean he's going to get the position. Here is his comments.
Chris Wray, who the president nominated the first time around. And I think the president picked a very good man to be the director of the FBI when he did that in his first term. When we meet with him behind closed doors, I've had no objections to the way that he's handled himself. And so I don't have any complaints about the way that he's done his job right now. And once again, the president has the right to make nominations, but normally these are for a 10-year term. We'll see what his process is and whether he actually makes that nomination. And then if he does, just as with anybody who is nominated for one of these positions, once they've been nominated by the president, then the president gets the benefit of the doubt on the nomination, but we still go through a process, and that process includes advice and consent.
And the right is not happy about that. See, what the senator doing right there is he's implying that he holds a position of power that he was elected to, that has duties and responsibilities, and that he should take them seriously. And screw you, Mike Rounds, for saying that. No, you bow down to the God Emperor. That's all you do. He's allowing you to keep your seat. Is that not enough for you,
yes.
you arrogant little fool, you? Is he not merciful? And so Laura Ingram's saying he should go home to a town meeting and try to say that to his constituents. Yeah, tell your constituents that you're going to do the job they sent you to do. They find it, he didn't even say he was going to block him. He just implied, we're going to do hearings. We're going to consider it. And that is unacceptable. They want an emperor so badly. That is literally all they want. How dare we have anything even like a democracy?
It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic.
Yeah, that is what they love to say. They're not
slash a monarchy.
Slash a monarchy. That's all it wants. They literally write it into books. And by the way, I'm not against writing fantasy books, clearly. I'm against writing bad fantasy books and self-inserting yourself as a character. That's pathetic. Anyway, Stephen King can do it. That's it. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.